there, welcome to the Web News with our pick of the stories making the online headlines. Coming up on today's show, the I Can't Breathe movement in memory of Eric Garner spreads to professional sports. British students protest police brutality. And a musician pays tribute to his favourite fruit, the watermelon. Emotions are running high in the US a little over a week after the controversial grand jury decision not to indict New York police officer Daniel Pantaleo for his involvement in the death of 43-year-old Eric Garner. The black father of 6 died following a particularly brutal arrest during which he was placed in a chokehold and wrestled to the ground. And the calls for justice have now spread to the professional sports world. LeBron James is one of a number of athletes to have shown solidarity with Eric Garner. And as we can see from these images of him warming up ahead of Monday's game, the Cleveland Cavaliers player wore a black T-shirt bearing the words, "I can't breathe," in reference to Garner's final words as he was being arrested. Teammate Kyrie Irving and some of their opponents that night from the Brooklyn Nets also put on the T-shirt for the pre-game warm-up. The NBA stars wanted to show their support and sadness over the tragic death. A few days earlier, another NBA player, Derrick Rose, wore a similar T-shirt ahead of his team's game against the Chicago Bulls. And as we can see in these photos that have been doing the rounds online, a number of stars from the Professional American Football League, the NFL, did the same last weekend. Some wrote Eric Garner's last words on their shoes. All these sportsmen share the same objective: to seek justice for the victim and raise awareness of the growing list of unarmed black men killed at the hands of police officers. Students from Warwick University in the UK staged demonstrations early December in protest of hikes in tuition fees and spending cuts in the higher education system. Police were called to break up a sit-in at one of the campus buildings and used, it seems, excessive force to do so, as this amateur video footage, which has been doing the rounds online, would suggest. Many have since taken to the streets and to the web to denounce police brutality, posting under the Cops Off Campus hashtag and voicing support for the demonstrators on the receiving end of the repression. The West Midlands Police Force has posted to its Twitter account defending its officers, saying they did not use disproportionate force and were simply following procedure. The statement's backed up by the university authorities. They say the police had to intervene as some students had allegedly assaulted members of staff. But these explanations have done little to appease protesters, and student unions from 10 or so other universities across the United Kingdom organised rallies last weekend to denounce police repression and to call for free education. Tens of thousands of students across the country joined the demonstrations. British businessman Surinder Wani has been cleared of killing his wife, Annie, during their South African honeymoon, after the judge threw out the case. Web users have since been posting under the Justice for Annie hashtag, demanding just that, saying she's been failed by the justice system. Social networkers are now campaigning for the legal authorities to bring the case back to court. American developer Eric Fisher spent 3.5 years collecting geotagged tweets and has produced an interactive map featuring the 6.3 billion tweets in his database. So we can see, for example, that a lot of Chinese web users defied the authorities and headed to Twitter despite the ban, and the Indonesians are particularly fond of the social network. You can take a closer look at mapbox.com. Singapore-based illustrator Thomas Yang loves art and cycling, and so decided to combine his two passions. He paints famous landmarks like the Eiffel Tower, the Empire State Building, Tower Bridge and Beijing's Forbidden City using bike tires and black ink. Head to 100copies.net to check out his gallery. British musician Tom Rosenthal adores watermelons and has composed a track dedicated to his favourite fruit. He's also put together a somewhat wacky video clip to go with it, and you can watch Watermelon in its entirety on his YouTube channel.